Living with simplicity and non-attachment is a fundamental principle in Zen philosophy and practice. It invites us to examine our relationship with material possessions, desires, and the pursuit of external achievements. By embracing simplicity, we learn to let go of the need for excessive material wealth and the constant accumulation of possessions. In a world that often values material abundance and consumption, Zen encourages us to question the true source of happiness and contentment. It reminds us that genuine fulfillment does not come from the accumulation of objects or the pursuit of external achievements, but from cultivating an inner sense of peace and contentment. By living with simplicity, we aim to simplify our lives and eliminate unnecessary complexities. This can involve decluttering our physical space, letting go of material possessions that no longer serve us, and refraining from acquiring more than what is essential. By reducing the distractions and burdens of excessive belongings, we create a sense of spaciousness and clarity in our environment. Non-attachment is closely intertwined with simplicity. It is the practice of letting go of attachment to outcomes, desires, and even our own ego. Non-attachment does not imply indifference or lack of care. Rather, it means freeing ourselves from becoming overly identified with external circumstances and outcomes. By cultivating non-attachment, we learn to flow with the natural rhythms of life, accepting both pleasant and unpleasant experiences without clinging or resisting. Living with simplicity and non-attachment allows us to discover a sense of freedom and liberation. We become less burdened by the constant pursuit of external validation and more attuned to our inner values and wisdom. By reducing our attachments, we create space for greater clarity, creativity, and presence in our lives. We become less preoccupied with acquiring more and more focused on the richness of the present moment. This practice can extend beyond material possessions to include non-attachment to thoughts, emotions, and identities. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting entangled in them, understanding that they are transient and ever-changing. We release the need to define ourselves rigidly and allow for a sense of fluidity and openness in our self-perception. Ultimately, living with simplicity and non-attachment is about finding freedom from the constant striving and seeking external validation. It is a path to inner contentment, where we can discover that true richness lies not in the accumulation of possessions, but in the depth of our presence, the richness of our relationships, and the alignment with our inner values. Let me explain this idea with a little story. The story goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Hiroshi who lived in a bustling city. Hiroshi was ambitious and driven, always seeking success and recognition in his career. He worked long hours, constantly striving to climb the corporate ladder and accumulate more wealth. However, despite his achievements, Hiroshi felt a deep sense of restlessness and dissatisfaction. He was constantly chasing after the next promotion, the next paycheck, and the next material possession. He believed that true happiness would come once he acquired everything he desired. One day, Hiroshi came across an old Zen master who was known for his wisdom and simplicity. Intrigued, Hiroshi approached the Zen master and asked, "Master, how can I find lasting happiness and fulfillment in life?" The Zen master smiled warmly and replied, "Young man, the key to happiness lies in living with simplicity and non-attachment. Let me share a story with you. There was once a wealthy merchant who owned a grand mansion filled with luxurious furniture, exquisite artwork, and extravagant decorations. The merchant took great pride in his possessions and believed that they defined his success and happiness. One day, the merchant met a wise sage who had dedicated his life to simplicity and non-attachment. The sage saw the merchant's attachment to his possessions and decided to teach him a valuable lesson. The sage said to the merchant, "I will visit your house tomorrow, and I want you to remove all your furniture and decorations. Leave only one item in each room." The merchant was puzzled but agreed to the sage's request. The next day, the sage arrived at the mansion. He walked through the rooms and saw that all the excessive possessions had been removed, leaving only one item in each room. To the sage's surprise, as he moved from room to room, he felt a sense of spaciousness, tranquility, and clarity that he had never experienced before. The absence of clutter allowed the energy to flow freely, creating an atmosphere of peace. The merchant, who observed the sage's reaction, suddenly realized the profound lesson. He had been attaching his happiness to external possessions, but by simplifying and letting go of the excess, he had created a space for greater clarity and freedom. With this newfound understanding, the merchant began to live with simplicity and non-attachment. He sold many of his possessions and chose to surround himself only with what was truly essential. As a result, he found greater contentment, inner peace, and a deeper appreciation for the simple joys of life. Hiroshi listened intently to the Zen master's story, and a spark of realization ignited within him. He realized that he had been caught in a cycle of chasing external achievements and possessions, thinking they would bring him lasting happiness. Inspired by the story, Hiroshi decided to embark on a journey of simplicity and non-attachment. He simplified his life, letting go of unnecessary possessions and activities that no longer brought him joy. He focused on cultivating meaningful relationships, finding joy in simple pleasures like taking walks in nature, practicing meditation, and spending quality time with loved ones. As Hiroshi embraced simplicity and non-attachment, he discovered a newfound sense of freedom and contentment. He realized that true happiness did not lie in the accumulation of material wealth, but in the richness of the present moment, the depth of his connections, and the alignment with his inner values. From that day forward, Hiroshi lived with a lightness of being, free from the burden of excessive desires and the constant pursuit of external validation. He found that by simplifying his life and letting go of attachments, he created space for greater clarity, freedom, and a profound sense of peace within himself. And so, Hiroshi's journey of simplicity and non-attachment became a testament to the transformative power of embracing a more intentional and uncluttered way of living. In conclusion, living with simplicity and non-attachment is a profound invitation to shift our perspective and find deeper meaning in our lives. Zen wisdom reminds us that true richness does not lie in the accumulation of material possessions, but in the quality of our presence, our relationships, and our connection to the present moment. By consciously letting go of excess and non-essential things, we create an environment that fosters clarity, peace, and freedom. We release ourselves from the weight of attachments and desires that can cloud our judgment and hinder our ability to fully appreciate the beauty of life. Embracing simplicity allows us to strip away the unnecessary layers and distractions that can accumulate in our lives. It liberates us from the constant pursuit of external validation and opens up space for self-reflection, self-discovery, and the cultivation of inner peace. Non-attachment teaches us to find contentment within ourselves, rather than relying on external circumstances for our happiness. It is a practice of letting go of rigid expectations, embracing impermanence, and flowing with the natural rhythm of life. By releasing our grip on outcomes and desires, we create the opportunity to be fully present in each moment, finding joy and fulfillment regardless of the external circumstances. Living with simplicity and non-attachment is not about renouncing all worldly possessions or withdrawing from the world. Instead, it is a conscious choice to prioritize what truly matters, to let go of the unnecessary, and to embrace a lighter and more intentional way of being. In this journey, we discover that the true essence of life resides in the simplicity of a heartfelt smile, the warmth of a genuine connection, the serenity of a quiet moment, and the beauty of nature surrounding us. We learn to appreciate the richness of each experience, knowing that the depth of our presence is far more valuable than any material possession. So let us embrace simplicity and non-attachment as guiding principles, freeing ourselves from the chains of excessive accumulation and external validation. In doing so, we create the space for greater clarity, freedom, and a profound sense of peace to permeate every aspect of our lives.